Oscar, you're not a Hex Plushie. Yeah. Hey guys, Gold Pikmin here, and as the title probably suggests, I'm doing a bit of a different video. Dawko, the creator of the Hex brand, did like an update video on stuff going on with Hex, and it made me realize, I guest star in like my friends' reviews, but I don't really give my own thoughts on the Hex stuff a lot, either on my channel or like in general. Now, this friend I'm talking about, who I guest star in the reviews of, Random Stupidity, they are very dedicated to trying to keep a full collection of all the plushies, which I really respect because these are actually pretty damn well made, and they're really freaking cool. So I respect it. Big props to them for letting me use their collection in this video, because I myself don't really buy these. Playlist for all their Hex review videos will be in the description. As I said, I've cameoed in a couple of them. But yeah, they let me borrow their collection for this video to help me, like, so I can make a video giving my own thoughts, because like I said, I realized I don't really do that much. So to give respect where respect is due, I actually wanted to start with the actual Hex plushies, not the FNAF crossover ones. Some people may not realize that Hex is something else. It is. Hex is a comic series that Dawko and the artist Hero Shark are collabing on, possibly with even more people. I've seen the first chapter. I'm waiting to see chapter 2 until the motion comic comes out, because personally I find that a more genuine, complete experience. But it's really fun. Me and Random Stupidity, again the owner of this collection, did like an entire like parody short film on the first motion comic, well, first chapter. But yeah, this right here is the main character, Kai. This is kind of what they all look like. They're like skull-faced rabbit plushies, and yeah, he comes with the magic needle, which is something that is very important to the plot of Hex. It goes right on his back. There's like strings to put it in. These are really well designed characters, and the world built in those comics is really interesting. And Kai as a character is really funny. He's even got the little tag on his butt that says his name. So it's a pretty accurate representation of the character. This right here is Buttons. She's basically the partner character, like the sidekick. Kai finds her like really dead looking and brings her back to life using the needle. And the two are traveling together. She's got like this devil looking tail, which is actually really interesting. I didn't actually notice this before this moment very extensively. This dress technically comes off, but that's kind of looks weird when you do that, so I don't know why you would. A lot more of a simplistic design, no hood, the ears are just fully out. The interactions between these two, between Buttons and Kai, is just really hilarious, and I really love the character. Again, they're more simplistic in design than, like, say, a FNAF character, but they have an odd charm to them, and it's really nice. This right here is Splitter. He is at the very least right now the bad guy. I don't know if they're gonna change that at all, but right now he's the bad guy. He's basically like a servant to like the main villain. He's got this cottony tail. He's wearing a hoodie. Oh yeah, both him and Buttons have the back strings to hold the needle. This right here is his scepter. His name's Splitter. So, you know, he uses this sharp staff to like tear apart the other plushies when he has to hunt them down. He's got white hair, which is actually incredible. That's actually pretty cool. I like the dress with buttons. You can like take the whole hoodie off, but this is like, there's a lot of detail on Splitter, which is really cool. Like the jacket like unzips. He's got like an earring with like this, and like his earring and the staff are like made of the golden material. So is the zipper. It's like actually metal. And the eyes are blue because he's got like some magical aspect to him. And Splitter is a pretty cool villain. But in terms of, here, let me grab him. In terms of the actual Hex series, and not just like the FNAF crossovers, like I said, it's a genuinely really cool world built by Dako, Hero Shark, and potentially whoever else is working on it. And I'm really glad, you know, that we have these in addition to, you know, all those guys back there. Every Hex plushie also comes with a card. I didn't grab any of them for this review, but something I did want to say. Oh, I dropped Button's head. Yeah, in case y'all forgot, the whole point of a Hex plushie is that they're magnetic and they split into pieces. If by any off chance, Dako, you're watching this, you really inspired my friend, and I wanted to thank you for that. When they posted, I believe it was their review for the toys, you were like very encouraging about the fact that they have a full collection. You like encouraged them to post a picture on Twitter and everything. So thank you for encouraging my friend, and you know, it's really cool that you noticed. But anyway, it's time to move on to the FNAF ones. I feel like this is a moment everyone was looking forward to. Let's start with the man himself. As you can see, he's got like back paw beans. The FNAF ones are like always made with a prop. Freddy's is this microphone, you know, his classic mic. The details are honestly incredible because he's got like the freckles. Everything, the buttons. It's a nice plushy detail is that the belly is like stitched on. He's got claws and he's made of a fuzzier material because he's, you know, a bear. Like the others, he's magnetic. I think you can even cross-connect them with the actual Hex brand plushies. Another thing is Dako, because, you know, a lot of people's like main critique with the Hex plushies is that, you know, because like the magnets and stuff, they were actually pretty pricey. So Dako listened and is working on the cuddly plushies, as he calls them. Basically, it's they're like they're sitting versions of the plushies that aren't magnetic, are weighted at the bottom so they sit down, and I think they're all made of like the same material as Freddy, which is honestly a pretty good choice because Freddy is a very cuddly material. His face is really goofy and I love it. He's got like a little bear tail, something that, you know, is a nice addition for the plushie. The bow tie is always up and present. It's honestly insane how good of a Freddy plushie this is. Next up is Bonnie. His prop is the guitar. It has like a felt ring around and everything. Well, not like this ribbony material. He's got this guitar. The sitting version, I think by default has the guitar positioned outward, but from what I've seen in that update video, you can spin it around, which is always nice. Now, I actually really like Bonnie's material, and I think if the sitting cuddly plushies ever get to the toy phase, because this material is a lot smoother and also equally as cuddly, at least in my opinion, I think Bonnie's material would actually be pretty great for those. So that way the toys can still have their smooth sheen, but you know, they're still really cuddly. I actually really like Bonnie's material. As for that, he's got that purplish hue that the classic Bonnie has, even though every other Bonnie ever since has been blue for some reason. I don't know why. It's certainly an interesting thing. But yeah, he's got whiskers because he's like a rabbit. And you know, the little cross of yarn in the button eyes is always, it was pretty much always consistent with the animatronic color. Freddy's is blue, Bonnie has like these magenta eyes, so you know that's the color. The ear detail is like, because again, these Hex plushies, they go through a lot of prototyping because there's a lot of details on them that really want the, like, Daco and everyone else working on them really wants them to be done right. So it's really cool to see. True to Bonnie's fashion, very similar in build to Freddy. Everyone knows that in the FNAF 1 animatronics, Bonnie and Freddy pretty much use the exact same torso. But yeah, so Bonnie is pretty true to form. He's got these goofy little buck teeth. I really do love the design of these things, and again, Daco's like recent update videos what made me realize I've never really spoken my own mind other than like when I guest star in my friends' reviews. But I myself am actually really big fans of these, even though I don't buy them, and they're like really well made, and it's insane. Chica is honestly the derpiest, which is pretty true to form if you think about it. I mean, if you remember her FNAF 1 jump scare, the cupcake is her prop. It comes off. I think it can even split at the plate. You know, got a bib. Let's see, it's like embroidered, I think is the word for it. It's tied in a ribbon around her neck. She's got like actual chicken feet, because for some reason people thought she was a duck. I guess because she was yellow, but I'm like fairly certain there was a camera angle where you could see her feet. Chica's like limbs are actually designed like a real wing, which, you know, obviously the real Chica wasn't, but like it's a plushie, so you know it's really nice. Got the purple eye detail, again kind of the derpy face, which I really love, the tuft of hair on top. It's all really nice. I think she's the only one who, she like doesn't have a tail like Freddy and Bonnie do. Wait, did I show Bonnie's tail? Bonnie has a tail. And of course the man himself, Foxy. Foxy is, you know, he's actually got another eye behind the eye patch, which is really cool. They're yellow, of course. The teeth and a lot of his body are actually made of this more like metal-looking material. Foxy's prop is actually his hook. It can pop right off. I've tested it before. I'm pretty sure you can see a Toy Chica right there. You can slam the hook like right onto her face. It's really funny because Toy Chica has a magnet in her face. We're gonna get to that. But Foxy is made, you know, he's nice and red. He's got cheek flaps because of, you know, he's a fox. He's got that head shape. Floppy ears. The sitting version of him, I think, has like even more emphasized versions of these features. You know, he's got his like snout. His neck is a little thin, which can make him like really wobbly. His head still stays on pretty well though, so that's really good. I think it was like a few months into Hex's lifespan that they started increasing the strength of the magnets, which is, you know, definitely a good move because some of these plushies are really big, and I think with the old style magnets, the parts would not just stay on. But yeah, Foxy is definitely really cool because of like the material, like the actual material they used for his endoskeleton parts, because it's really creative. He's still got his pants on because you know, Foxy always had his shorts, and they even like, you know, they have like the details of like the holes in them. And Foxy personally is my favorite of the four. He's the one I've like taken out and messed with the most because, well, you know, as cool as it is to keep them on display, sometimes, you know, you want to goof off with them a little bit. Now we're on to the next wave that was released, which was actually Fredbear and Spring Bonnie. We'll get to Spring Bonnie in a minute. Now, while Foxy is my favorite of like the main fours, like wave of plushies, like wave 1, the main four, I think out of all the Hex plushies that have been released, Fredbear is like my absolute favorite. Fredbear, he's got this nice color. I think it looks a little more faded on my camera, but it's like this nice yellowy color. His details are actually made in purple and not black, which was, you know, it was a little strange to look at first, but after, you know, having time to get used to it, I really like that detail. And, you know, Dawko, I think, has legitimately expressed interest in doing sitting versions of Fredbear and Spring Bonnie, and my only request for that is to keep that, the fact that the details are in purple and not black. I really like that. It provides some more uniqueness. He's got a walkie-talkie in reference to, you know, the actual FNAF 4 Fredbear plushie, which is pretty cool. He's still got, other than, you know, the prop, he's essentially just, you know, a yellow and purple version of the Freddy plushie, which, you know, is not a bad thing at all. The Freddy plushie was like incredibly well made, so you know, sticking to a good plushie, you know. Plus Fredbear is kind of just that anyway, so. But yeah, Fredbear, in my opinion, is like probably my absolute favorite of the entire Hex collection. I love this plush. Then there's Spring Bonnie. Similar to Fredbear, the Spring Bonnie plushie in general is more or less just, you know, a yellow and purple version of the Bonnie plush, which again, it's not bad because that's literally what it was. Probably, again, a little hard to see because I think my camera is a little faded, but there's a lot of like little details that really go into it. Spring Bonnie has a pizza cutter for their prop. Fun fact, Spring Bonnie was originally going to be made with a knife, but they changed it either to keep Spring Bonnie independent or probably, and this is the one I'm more likely to believe, probably for friendliness purposes. Which, you know, is fine. The pizza cutter is still a really cool prop. It's fun to like just have Spring Bonnie wave it around like it's an actual weapon. But Spring Bonnie, I love them. Funny enough, the Spring Bonnie character in FNAF, I don't think we have a confirmed gender for, which is really interesting. A lot of people probably just assume Spring Bonnie is a male because, you know, just cuz, and but me and my friends always joke about the fact that, like, if Spring Bonnie ever actually ended up being a female character, that William is basically a cross-dresser, which is, you know, nothing against cross-dressers, but like just the idea of that is really funny to us. But yeah, Spring Bonnie, really well made. I think the same material as the Bonnie plushie, which again, I would really advocate for the toy, the sitting cuddly versions of the toys to have, because I personally really love this material as much as the Freddy one. The next to be released were the toys, and why not start with Toy Freddy, or as me and my friend have started calling him, Cheeto Bear. Toy Freddy is really nice. I think made of a slightly different material than the real Freddy, but it's fine, you know. It doesn't take away from the plushie at all. The plushie is, you know, the toys are made with different materials to give them some independence, which I really respect. The same is true for Toy Freddy's microphone. This isn't actually what his microphone looked like, but when adapting Toy Freddy into a Hex plushie, they changed that because they wanted Toy Freddy to feel more unique, which, you know, the different material too really helps with, and I respect the decision. He's got, you know, details like the different coloring around his eyes that like the toys had. His cheeks are, you know, pink instead of red, which, you know, again, doesn't take away from the plushie at all. It's just, you know, a difference. There's just nothing wrong with differences, despite the fact that people nowadays just seem to treat difference like it's a plague. But yeah, again, obviously the elephant in the room is that Toy Freddy is really orange, a lot more than the actual Toy Freddy, which, you know, I guess if you're gonna be a die-hard sweat will bother you, but like me and my friend found this really funny. I don't know. I also, yeah, he's got like a little bit where his teeth peek through, and it's really freaking funny. like Fredbear, Toy Freddy is one of my favorites. He's actually like really high up there. I really love him because he's so goofy. And you know, that's the direction Scott took the character, so true to form. Here we got Toy Bonnie, got a tail, you know, it's blue. White, feminine looking. I think this is where I'm gonna have to start getting into like a genuine thing here. When making the toys, I'm pretty sure Dawko intended for them to be a bit smaller than the originals, but I actually think they ended up being bigger because of the sheer amount of details they had to pack into these guys, which, you know, is fine. Detail, if you have to sacrifice size accuracy for like a really well made and detailed plushie, I don't care. I really like how the toys came out. I think the toys were like the most problematic for Dawko, so that's yikes. But I personally, I really like the toys. People freaking out, like people were throwing fits that, you know, the ears were apart, which is like why the angle of the ears were how they actually look on the Toy Bonnie character. I think maybe for the sitting cuddly versions, Dawko might try to make that size more accurate, but even if they end up being bigger too, I really love the design of the toys. And for the third time, if the toys do reach the sitting cuddly stage, I would advocate for the material used on Bonnie. I think Toy Chica is the prime example of the the toys ended up being bigger. She's got a chicken tail, you know, her pants, the Let's Party bib also tied in a ribbon. She's got a cupcake, again it splits off from her hand and also at the plate. But her main thing, and this is probably why she ended up being so freaking big, is you can do this. And like I said earlier, you can put a lot of things here. I one time just slammed Foxy's hook on her face, and it was really funny. Like first Chica, the arms are made to be a lot more like an actual wing than the actual, you know, Chica design is. She's got like the really long strands of hair that the actual Toy Chica has, and it's you know, despite how awkward the really big size can be sometimes, again, a really solid plushie. I think Balloon Boy might be another offender of the size thing. So Balloon Boy actually has two props, his balloon and his sign that he has in the actual game. His arms actually have a layer to them where the sleeves are like another material put over. The shirt and hat are another material. The hat propeller is actually like full plastic. I'm pretty sure this may have been what actually caused a lot of the problems, because I'm sure some of the packaging, this could have like easily been broken or something. I'm really glad ours wasn't, and you know, I feel bad for the people that had to go through the pain of that. I really like that his buttons are gray, which may or may not be a joke on the fact that Balloon Boy's buttons seem to switch between white and black a lot. So if that is the intended joke, that is really funny. He's got that sinister little grin that you really want to punch in the face, and you probably can. But yeah, I would be gentle with handling your Balloon Boy plushies if you ever get one, because, like I said, this thing could probably actually pretty easily break. So I'm going to try my best to handle this guy with care. He's got, you know, his little shoes and everything. There's a lot of material going on here. The hat in particular, if you can, I don't know if my mic picked that up, but it's like this very particular material. But I really like the Balloon Boy. Again, I think the reason why he might have ended up being so big is because, you know, all these details on him, like all the stripes, all the aspects to the face, designing each tooth, the props, everything. But again, even though it's a little awkward that Balloon Boy is pretty big, I really like the plushie. A lot of people don't like Balloon Boy as a character simply because he was annoying, which makes no sense, because that just means he was doing his job, but alrighty. But yeah, that's Balloon Boy, and he was the fourth released in the Toys wave. A lot of people are probably thinking about, what about Mangle? Mangle is coming eventually. Like I said, Mangle is a bit of a experimental thing that Hex is doing, and again, they need to prototype it a lot to make sure it gets like in a good quality. So, you know, that's what they're doing. And the last two, the most recent two that have arrived, there have been releases like the sitting plushies and the keychains of the spring locks. But, and while we have, well, my friend has, because it's their collection, but while my friend has ordered them, you know, these things need time to like be made and ship out, you know. So, the most recent addition is the two Fanverse characters, Candy and Pop Goes. They were released as something called Wave A, which, you know, brings up suspicion that there could be a Wave B. But jokes aside, Candy, love the thing I wanted to say about Candy is the fact that, like, his head is so fat, like, it's so wide. If you put Candy's head on like another plushie, you will see just how wide his head is. It's really funny. Candy, you know, he's like the others, got limbs. He's blue and white, got that toy-like aspect to him because, you know, Candy is very similar to a toy animatronic. He's got a full-on detachable tail and everything. He's got a tie that is made of a really nice material here. And I really love the Candy design because he also comes with a burger. He's got a burger. And yeah, Candy is really nice. I think he's sold out pretty fast. So we actually, my friend ended up having to wait a little bit before getting him. But yeah, really love Candy. Candies as a whole is one of my favorite series that's in the Fanverse, and I really love I really love it. And then there's Pop Goes. I'm leaving that in. There's Pop Goes. Now, real quick, as I'm recording this, I wanted to say a little something. So the Pop Goes dev, King Carter, is currently undergoing something that it's really unfair. So recently, Kane made a post talking about how, like, you know, Markiplier, he's playing these more, I guess you could say, obscure and less known FNAF fan games, but hasn't even like really touched on or addressed some of the other like bigger series going on, like FNAF Plus. You know, Mark played back in the day, he played like Pop Goes and Candies, I'm pretty sure, which, you know, so it's not like Kane was trying to say hint hint play my series, but you know, Kane was just pointing it out how it's weird that Mark has, you know, playing certain fan games but not even addressing the fanverse as a thing at all. Like, Mark has never talked about the fanverse in depth. He's never really like said, hey, I'm gonna play fanverse games when they come out. But you know, and you know, while Kane admitted it was probably a bit of a shit take to say that, still the response against Kane has been really unfair. I'm pretty sure he had to like private his Twitter account because people were sending death threats, and anyone who's watched my channel knows how pathetic I think it is to send people death threats over social media. You're an embarrassment to the FNAF fandom as a whole, and please fucking leave and get off the internet if you're gonna do shit like that. It's pathetic. But anyway, as for the actual Pop Goes plushie, admittedly, I don't know a lot about Pop Goes. I really want to learn, which is why I'm gonna really genuinely look into Evergreen when it comes out. But I, at the very least, know that Pop Goes as an animatronic was 3D printed, which is why he's made of a corduroy material, because it gives the illusion of the 3D lines, which is a really cool detail. Similar to Candy, Pop Goes is very much kind of like he's kind of like halfway in between a toy and like a classic in terms of design, and it really shows here. He's holding a Black Rabbit head, which is a character, at least in the older Pop Goes games, he would build to kill you instead of attacking you himself. Kane, I think, released a teaser where Pop Goes actually did attack, which was really interesting. He's got a green stripe to his hat because green is kind of his motif. He's got a bow tie, a vest. The vest completely comes off, and there's like this weird trend of people putting like the Pop Goes plushie specifically in baby clothes, which is really funny. My favorite one I've seen so far is him in like a shark onesie. But trend aside, I really love the creative direction of this because of the unique material Pop Goes is made out of in his actual game. And like Candy has a fully detachable tail. These two came out together because Candy's and Pop Goes actually take place in the same universe, and the devs, Kane and Emil, are pretty close friends, I believe. So, you know, and I imagine they were chosen first for Fanverse plushies because I think Dako also knows both of them really well. So, yeah, Pop Goes and Candy, really great recent additions. Like I said, the sitting plushies and the Springlock keychains have also come out since. They've been ordered, but you know, things need time to arrive, so this is all we have. I wanted to do this video, like I said. I realized I've never stopped and given my own personal, like, full-blown thoughts on these. I've just watched as my friend collected them and, like, guest starred in a couple of their reviews. I've never given my full thoughts, and I really love what Dako is doing with these. I've never considered the idea of a YouTuber being so dedicated to a merch line, and like Dako is incredibly fair with it. If anyone has an issue, he does his best to like fix it. He tries really hard to work on these, make sure they look good, which is why they go through like the lengthy process of multiple prototypes. Like, if Pop Goes was released with like the very first design he ended up looking like, it would be so much uglier. And so like, be grateful for like the prototyping process, because honestly these could all look a lot worse. And you know, back to the main thing is Dako is really fair. People said like the Hex Plushies were really pricey, which is why he's now doing the non-magnetic sitting ones, which are like 30 each, I believe. Some people will probably still argue pretty pricey for just a plush, but it's definitely a lot more accessible than the actual magnetic versions, which is really cool. And you know, none of them, aside from like Dako has, this is something he explicitly said in his recent update video, aside from special reskins like the Golden Spring Bonnie that's going to come out within this month, I believe, none of the characters will ever be like limited time. So, you know, no matter how long you need, you can always come back and get them. I really love Hex. Speaking of that Golden Spring Bonnie, something Dako didn't say was how long it would be available for, though given how fair Dako is being about a lot of things regarding Hex, I imagine the time period will probably be a bit more generous than, say, your average U2s. U2s, for example, it's just like one dude working on everything. Dako, he's got like I believe he's got like a whole team of people working on these, so you know, probably going to be a bit more generous. I really love these. I wanted to make a video where I just stop and express that, because I never really have, and which is why this also ended up being really long, because I had a lot to go through. But I really love the Hex plushies. I'm looking forward to seeing what's coming out. There's a lot going on at once, because like the Cuddly plushies just came out, then Dako's like, hey, we're doing keychains, and then they come out like a couple, like the next week. So it's like I really love these, but please can we slow it down just the tiniest bit? All jokes aside, really love it. I love that, you know, Dako's able to do something, because like it seems like doing these, it really makes him like happy like a lot. And you know, I really love these. They're all really cool, including the actual Hex, not FNAF characters, the actual Hex characters. And to avoid derailing myself even further and making an outro that's 10 minutes long, I'm gonna cut myself off here. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll see y'all another time. Bye, everyone.